Hello, second grade Smarties, and welcome to iReady Math Lesson 19, video number 3. Today, we are in our instruction book on pages 180 and 181. So go ahead and pause the video, get open to that page, and you will need a ruler for this lesson. All right, so let's go ahead and start with number 12. So remember, this week we are talking about estimating. Remember, we estimate when we cannot find an exact length, and we can use different objects to help us estimate. So we can use objects like pens, we can use objects like cell phones, we can use objects like bottles, books, sticky notes to help us measure, so we can estimate length using different objects as units of measurement. So let's go ahead and look at number 12. It says estimate the length of your arm. Use one of the units in the box to make your estimate. Write your estimate. Explain how you made your estimate. Okay, so the length of our arm, here is what it's saying. The length of our arm is going to be from the end of our hand, well, from the palm of our hand right here to our shoulder bone, okay? So we are estimating the length of our palm to our shoulder. Now, estimating, remember, this is when we don't find an exact measurement, but we can use different objects that we know are pretty close to those units of measurement to measure. So for example, if I wanted to use the width of my pinky for centimeters, would I want to use centimeters to measure the length of my arm? Probably not. Inches. Remember, the width of a quarter is about an inch. Would I want to use a quarter to measure my arm? Probably not. The length of a book. The length of a book is about a foot. Would I maybe want to use the length of my book to measure my arm? Probably. And meters. Remember, meters is 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters. Would I want to use a meter stick to measure my arm? I could use a meter stick to measure my arm. But for this activity, I am going to estimate using feet. Now, I know my book that I have right here is about 1 foot long. So if I estimate, I would say my arm is about 2 feet long. So I'm going to say my estimate is about, I'm using that word about because I do not have an exact measurement, about 2 feet. What did I use to measure the length of my arm? I used a book that was about 1 foot to measure. So we can use different objects as units of measurement. Remember, our measurements are not going to be exact when we estimate. So what unit did you use? Did you estimate with centimeters? Did you estimate with inches, feet, or meters? Your answer is going to be a little different because your arm is probably a lot shorter than Miss Mason's arm. When I measured the length of my arm, I used about 2 books. You might have used fewer feet to measure your arm. Remember, we talked about units, how they vary, how they are different lengths. All right, let's look at 13. It says Eric estimates that the length of a crayon is about 4 inches. He measures the crayon and says it has a length of 10 inches. Do you think his estimate or his measurement is wrong? So hold on, Smarties. I am going to get a crayon and a ruler. All right, Smarties. So I've got a ruler that has inches and centimeters, and I also have some crayons. So I am going to find a brand new crayon. All right, so Eric estimates that the length of this crayon is about 4 inches. Do you agree or disagree that this is about 4 inches? I would agree. So I can use my ruler to check. So I'm going to line up the left end of my crayon with the 0 on inches. And when I measure it, it is about 4 inches. Okay, so that's his estimate. It wasn't exact, but it was really close. But when he measures it, he says it is 10 inches. Is his estimate or his measurement wrong? When he estimated, he said it was about 4. But when he went and measured it, he said it was 10. What was incorrect? His measurement, right? So we would say his measurement is wrong. Now it has that question word why. So what word am I going to use to answer that question? Because. So remember inches. How might he have gotten 10 inches? What unit might he have used instead of inches? What's a unit that is smaller than inches? Centimeters. Okay, let's see what happens when I measure the length with centimeters. Oh, smarties. When I line this up, hold on, let me be precise. Line that up with the 0. When I line it up with the 0 on centimeters, it's about 9 centimeters. So why was he wrong? Because he used the incorrect unit to measure. Because he used centimeters, not inches. So that's why it's really important to remember those units. We know that centimeters are shorter in length than inches. All right, let's look at 14. It says, which is the best estimate for the length of a seesaw? Mark your answer. Now, maybe you guys have seen a seesaw on a playground. Now, seesaws are like this picture, but think about your play equipment on your playground at school or at your favorite park. You have probably been on a seesaw. So a seesaw is where one person sits on one end and the other sits on the other end, and you take turns going up and down, up and down. Would 30 inches be a good estimate for the length of a seesaw? 30 inches. That is a little less than 3 feet. Is that a good estimate? No. What about 100 yards? Ooh, so that is 100 yards is 300 feet. Is that a good estimate for a seesaw? No. Okay. What about 4 meters? 4 meters is about 400 centimeters. So that would be about 400 centimeters. Those are really small units, but remember there are 100 centimeters in a meter. Which would be the best estimate for meters? So why would 4 meters be the best estimate? Think about it. With the inches, that would be too short. With 100 yards, that would be too long. So we would say 30 inches is too short. Ooh, that R control vowel O-R, too short. And 100 yards is too long. So when we understand those units of measurement, we can use that knowledge to help us think about this estimating, right? If I know that inches are shorter than feet, and if I know that yards are longer than inches, that's going to help me think about how I could maybe estimate. All right, let's go to 15. It says Mrs. Chen made the list of lengths at the right. So the lengths of items. So a new pencil is about 19 centimeters. A sticky note is about 3 inches. An egg carton is 1 foot, and the height of a door is 2 meters. Part A says estimate the length of an object in your classroom. Use an item from Mrs. Chen's list to help you estimate. Record your choices below. All right, so here's what you need to do. You need to find an object around you. So I have a Coke Zero bottle. This is my object. So I'm going to say Coke Zero bottle. Now, unless you have a Coke Zero bottle right next to you, your object's going to be different. Coke Zero bottle. All right, so I am going to estimate the length of my Coke Zero bottle, and I have to pick one of these objects to use as my unit for measurement. I think I am going to use sticky notes. And I know that each sticky note is about 3 inches. So I'm going to say sticky note. Now you could use the same unit, or maybe you want to use a different unit. Remember, if you're one of my smarties, you are going to be sending a picture of these pages to me. So I can't wait to see your estimations. All right, so I actually have a sticky note right here. And a sticky note is about 3 inches. Now this is a square, so it's going to be the same length on either side. So if I'm looking at my sticky note and my Coke bottle, I am going to estimate, now I'm looking at it, I am going to estimate that it is about 3 sticky notes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I estimated that it's about 3 sticky notes. So 3 sticky notes, I'm going to draw a picture. 3 sticky notes. And so 3 sticky notes, 1 sticky note is 3 inches. Each one is the same length. So they would each be 3 inches. Ooh, 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3, that's a doubles fact. 6, and 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 what? What unit did they say? 9 inches. Ooh, I gotta make sure to write the name of the unit that I am using. All right, so it says, how did you find your estimate? So I found my estimate. I found my estimate by using a sticky note to compare, to measure. That's what I'm wanting to say. To measure the length of the bottle. And how many sticky notes did I need? I needed 3 sticky notes. So I even drew a picture. If for part B, you would rather draw a picture of how you estimated, you can do that. Now, was this exact? No, it was an estimate. I estimated that it was about 3 sticky notes long. Okay, so that was not exact. All right, part C says use a ruler, a yardstick, or a meter stick to measure the actual length of your object. All right, so since I used inches, I'm going to use an inch ruler. If you use centimeters, you are going to measure with centimeters. All right, so I am going to measure the length of my bottle. I am going to start with the 0 on inches at the bottom. And I'm going to draw an invisible line. All right, so when I measure the length of my water bottle, or my Coke Zero bottle, it is 9 inches. A little less than 9 inches, actually. If I measured it in centimeters, it is exactly 22 centimeters. So I want to use an exact measurement. So I am going to say 22 centimeters, or about 9 inches. It's not exactly 9 inches, but it is about 9 inches. Because when I measure using the bottle, do you guys see that? It isn't exactly 9 inches. So I wanted to use a precise measurement, which was the centimeters. All right, how does the actual length compare with your estimate? So looking at my estimate, I estimated that it was 9 inches. When I measured using my ruler, it was about 9 inches or 22 centimeters. So I can say that the actual length, and remember, friends, if you're having a hard time spelling using the correct spellings, look back at your question. It has the spellings of those words. The actual length and estimate, there's the word estimate, were similar in length. They were very close. All right, Smarties. So remember, if you are one of my Smarties, don't forget to send a picture of your instruction books in Seesaw. I can't wait to see what objects you estimated and what unit you used. All right, Smarties, remember to keep that growth mindset. Good learners do hard things, and I will see you soon with another video lesson. Happy learning.